on here at the Los Alamos home is there's 3 indoor units that have been installed. It's a 9, a 6, and a 15, and that pertains to the thousands of BTUs. And they are ran through a branch box, which basically allows the refrigerant to be split to multiple indoor units from a single outdoor condenser. In this case, it is a Mitsubishi Hyperheat. Designates the ability for it to operate at a full heating capacity at a much lower temperature, so that gives it much greater warming capabilities in the winter. Phase 1 of an install like this is we would have the design engineer, in this case Mr. Stephen Booth, come through and do what's known as a J-load calculation assessment. The J-load calculation assessment basically takes into consideration the dynamics of the home, the number of entryways, the square footage, the roof line, basically anything that's going to affect its thermal holding capabilities. Once all those figures are calculated, the system can be designed to run at optimal efficiency. Day 1, after the design has been done, the walkthrough commences, and that's basically where the designer and the install technicians go room to room and assess the best location for the indoor units. Really looking for both something that's efficient but also aesthetically appealing. The installation technicians begin by hanging the wall brackets to the indoor units. And then once the brackets are centered and mounted to their respective spaces, we will then go ahead and drill a penetration hole through the wall or ceiling or floor, depending on whether we're going into an attic or a crawl space or again just out the wall. And that's generally a 3-inch diameter hole that allows our line set to be ran from the outdoor condenser unit to the indoor heads. Day 2 is generally picked up where we left off with the actual creation of the line sets themselves. And so that's taking very accurate measurements to run the lines both most efficiently and again aesthetically. In this case, we installed the unit outside of the lower, it's kind of got a walkout basement situation, so it's sort of like in the middle where the floors meet. So it shouldn't be noticeable whatsoever when it's running as far as sound goes. And once the measurements are taken from that said outdoor condenser unit to the individual heads, we roll out the copper refrigerant lines. Depending on, again, the size of the unit will dictate the diameter of said refrigerant line. So we've got 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch, 1/2 inch, 7/8, and it goes on up into commercial applications, but we generally don't deal with those here at Roadrunner. We're primarily residential. So we cut the lines and seal them immediately so no contaminants can get in while we're putting them in place. And then we run the electrical line as well. And we'll attach those together with either plastic zip ties or duct tape, depending on the application, if they're being exposed or ran through ceilings and walls. So we do paint match them in our final stages of installation to just blend them in with the trim of the home or the siding or whatever the customer desires, really. So once the line sets are in place, from the condenser to the heads, we what's called flare them in. then that brings us to the third day. Once the system is all sealed up and the drains are set, we run the vacuum test. And that's essentially just making sure we did our job right, which me personally, I've never seen a vacuum test fail. That's one of the reasons people come to ROADRUNNER for their HVAC installation is, we take that extra level of attention to detail during our installations. So once the pressure test is ran and we are confident that the system is going to be operational, we engage it, essentially going to the individual indoor units and turning them on full blast to really pump the refrigerant through the lines and get it moving. We go over the remote operations with the homeowner to make sure they understand, how the system works between the different modes available. Again, there's cooling and heating, of course, but as well there's fan and dehydration mode for people that want to utilize those capabilities as well. The systems have a timer option in case you want to, have it kick on and off during particular times of the day or days of the week. We generally recommend that the system stays operating pretty much 24/7, and the thermostat is utilized to dial in the temperatures that the customer prefers for their personal comfort. And so that's the kind of thing that we'll run through with the customer, and any final questions or concerns they may have. We remind them of our warranty at ROADRUNNER. We warranty all of our labor for 7 years, which is the highest in the industry. And we also mentioned that Mitsubishi has a 12-year warranty with its hardware. So we generally come to address any concerns within that first 7 years. We try to make an effort to leave a job cleaner than we found it. We pride ourselves on our speediness, cleanliness, and professionalism, and part of that is picking up any debris that we may leave behind, whether that's wire clippings, packaging, etc. We do our very best to basically go unnoticed